In November of 2005, Professor David Bradley invited 4 ceramic artists to Paradise Valley Community College for a workshop demonstration. Each husband-wife team, one from China and one from Mexico, would take turns demonstrating their ceramic techniques and then collaborate on a final piece.
In my experience with Xiaoping and Junya and the techniques that they have shared with me, and likewise through my experience with Lucy and Lorenzo and the processes in Mata Ortiz, they have all affected me and my work and my approach to my work in large ways, in substantial ways.
En mi pueblo, por decir, yo pienso que es importante que los jóvenes aprendan a hacer este tipo de trabajo porque puede ser más progreso.
Que personas sigan adelante con el arte, ¿verdad? Que no se quede atrás de lo que uno sabe.
If the life no art, the life
this life is not
be very
interesting.
boring. The world will be boring.
It's too simple. Just food, just sleeping, just walk. Oh, this is not interesting.
Art give you a life.
Art for life is very important.
I've heard it said by Deepak Chopra years ago that we can use the mirror of our relationships to understand ourselves, that we are drawn to people who exhibit those qualities that we admire in ourselves, and it just seemed like a natural confluence of events to bring them together. Would they be able to communicate through this common material and common sets of processes that they work with, even though they don't speak the same verbal language and come from such different cultures?
Both regions have a long history in the ceramic arts. The ceramic history in Yixing, China, dates back 3,000 years. About the time of the Sung Dynasty, 1,000 years ago, drinking tea came into vogue, and artisans have been making teapots since that time. In northern Chihuahua, Mexico, near the modern-day town of Mata Ortiz, the Paquimé people, dating back over 700 years, used ceramic wares for food storage. However, the production of ceramics in Mata Ortiz lay dormant for hundreds of years until rediscovered and revived by the self-taught Juan Quesada. Quesada would, in turn, teach others in the village the art of making pots. Each potter has taken the basic method and adapted it to his or her own style, creating an exquisite blend of Paquimé and modern designs.
Cuando nosotros nos casamos no hacíamos ninguno de los dos. Él trabajaba en la colonia Juárez, en las huertas, pero en ese tiempo ya mi mamá hacía poquitas ollas. Experimentaba también, no hacía mucho, pero poquito. Y de ahí empezamos. Ella nos decía, tienen que trabajar para que no salgan fuera de la casa, para que no salgan fuera de aquí. Más bien, idea de ella. Ella les decía, mis hermanas mayores también no hacían ollas, pero ella nos decía, hagan ollas, hagan ollas.
The clay of Mata Ortiz is dug from the surrounding mountains. It is processed manually to produce a refined, low-firing clay ideal for the decorative works of art produced today. The Yixing clay, also low-firing, produces a rich brown finish that is watertight without the use of glazes. Similar to the Mata Ortiz pottery, Yixing teapots now combine traditional forms with contemporary artistic expression. Junya Xiao creates teapots with incredible forms and textures.
For me, I learned in Yixing, my hometown. I born in there. Then when I was finished school, follow master, learn the technique. Then later learn fine art, kind of the traditional, contemporary together. So from that way, shopping.
I learn everywhere. I love go everywhere, also learn everywhere. Not only China, also in United States. I learn from my friend. I learn everywhere.
From you, slowly.
The first 2 days, they're going to take turns having the floor and demonstrating their process, and then they're going to work together and try and incorporate the techniques into what they do.
Está muy bien por el arte que ellos tienen y sentimos mucho gusto de venir a compartir nuestro trabajo con el de ellos, ¿verdad?
Muy interesante.
Muy bueno.
A ver qué podemos hacer.
A ver qué.
I think very good, very great, and very interesting.
是吗
To culture， 他就说这个 project 怎么样？你不
This is some, you did this project is a crazy project. So we try. So maybe we can try
culture,
make
different
crazy art.
Then maybe something good coming out.
Lucy is rolling it out on a piece of plastic to make it the thinness she needs. Making it, they call it making a tortilla. And because that's just what it looks like, a clay tortilla.
Para empezar, él prepara el barro. Todo lo que es la preparación del barro, él la hace. Y luego ya cuando está listo, yo empiezo a formar la pieza.
So today I will show the base technique, the specialist one, the around, because yesterday they make a round shape, use that way. Today I use my way, make a round shape. See how different. The slab even very important, just like theirs. Need even, then about the shrinkage, then the shape also.
Con los dedos, con presión, presionando los dedos. Se presiona y a la vez se encoge.
Now she's doing the same thing right now, correct? To make it get taller. So it's a combination movement, doing two things at the same time, squeezing it together and pinching it taller. Now she's supporting the wall on the inside with her left hand as she's stroking that tool upwards. What she's accomplishing is evening out all the high and low spots in the clay from the pinching.
The first 2 days of workshop demonstrate distinct similarities in the techniques used to work the clay. Just as in the Mata Ortiz method, forming the walls requires two hands working together. Though different tools are used, the effect is the same.
So when I paddle, my hands move out, and also hands the shape from straight kind of turn to like that way. So this will become teapots to the bottom. So we make the bottom first, then turn another way, make top.
Additional clay is added to extend the mouth of the Mata Ortiz pot. The artists take an immediate interest in new techniques.
Roll by hands, use this part, make the shape like a needle, then become a shape like an ear, then become a handle. So this is a base like traditional parts.
The goal of this was to demonstrate to the audience, to my students, that even if you're a master artist with years and years and years of experience, there are still things to learn. It's okay to stumble and to not make something that is as good as you would like it to be. I have learned so much from both sets of people. They all exhibit a calmness of personality, acceptance of new things, a humility, yet pride in what they know.
The purpose of the oil is to lubricate the top layer of clay particles so that they'll move just enough. So when they rub them with a stone, the particles will lay down in a real tight layer. And that's what makes the shine. It's a little bit of water on top of that. And so the oil is keeping the water from soaking on into the clay. It stays on the surface.
I wanted to create a situation where things could happen. I wanted to encourage interaction in as many ways as possible, provide them first of all with a setting where they could be comfortable in presenting their way of working, and then shake them up a little bit.
Functional is, for me, is not important.
No, the first important, because if functional is first important, so the spout, the handle, the lid, or the shape have a certain kinds of way. So you need to follow that. That will close your mind. So we first put that away. More is about our idea, what our thinking. I still make my parts functional, but it's not first important. So I will show one more time, so everyone better to remember. Shorter, longer, not too deep, but deep enough.
Ahí pueden salir ideas de lo que vimos, un poquito diferente o revuelto con lo que nosotros hacemos, pero podría salir algo. Vamos a tratar. A mí me gustó mucho la técnica de la madera, por eso digo, pero en mi barro, en mis ollas, a ver si sale bien.
La parte más difícil es el proceso que estaba haciendo ella de la tetera, porque tiene algunos cortes en el proceso del barro.
We've been discussing what to do tomorrow, where they're supposed to work together. And Xiaoping's idea is to make another head sculpture, only not develop the face, leave it very smooth where the face would be, and to force dry it overnight, and then to turn it over to Lucy and Lorenzo to finish, to sand and polish it, and for Lucy to paint on the face of it. Yeah.
The final day begins with the tedious job of sanding and polishing the sculpture. In addition to Lucy painting this piece, Xiaoping will be tasked with painting the pot that Lorenzo had polished earlier in the demonstration. Junya receives first-hand knowledge of the polishing process as she finishes her Mata Ortiz styled pot. Keeping Xiaoping on task is not easy as he takes his turn at running a camera.
What, are you taking a break?
Huh?
Are you taking a break? Or is your pot finished?
No, not finished.
Oh, okay.
I need to come here to get an image.
An image.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the dilemma that all of us face when we get to this part of what to put on the pot.
Pues la parte más difícil es para la pintura, porque hay que pensar en los diseños que vamos a poner en la pieza y todo.
Pues la pintura. La pintura es lo que más me gusta.
How do you decide how to space out the design? You don't just start from one side and work your way around and hope that it matches. You divide it up into areas.
This idea is difficult. If you got some idea, first you need to get some good idea. Then you need to think about technique, about how is it to finish this idea.
The moment everybody had anticipated finally arrives, and Lucy begins painting Xiaoping's sculpture.
Lucy, everyone is wondering how you decided what to paint on this piece.
Toda la mañana pensé, ¿qué le voy a pintar? ¿Qué le pinto animales? Le pinto. Y no, de repente. Así nada más empieza uno y ya se van formando. No tenía esta idea, no sé.
Lucy was faced with painting the face on the head that Xiaoping had made. Xiaoping had just said to me he hoped she would not paint a realistic looking face on it. And then she painted parrot heads for the eyes, and a lizard for the nose, and an ant for the mouth. She surprised everybody, Xiaoping included, with her creative approach, and it was fabulous. At the end, when we were interviewing the participants, and when they all said that they were surprised by how much they got out of it, That was the icing on the cake for me. When we set up the show, they kind of checked each other out and looked at their work, and I think it was great that they were able to meet each other and their work at the same time, because they met the work as well as the person right off the bat. It gave them a better idea of who they were meeting. The work represents the person.
Different culture, different technique, and different idea, and make together, make everybody's crazy.
I use the lights lots in my own work. Usually I always do inlay. The painting way, they use the brushed way, make the lights very straight. That technique maybe I will try in my work in future.
¿Qué podríamos comentar? Pues que nos impresionó de verdad lo que ellos hacen, sobre todo que el trabajo que el barro es natural, los colores diferentes, las texturas, las formas, pues todo su trabajo en sí impresiona, las máscaras, las caras. Es muy interesante para mí, fue muy interesante para mí ver cómo las hacen.
In the long run, it'll have more an effect when the students are doing their own work and they have a choice between taking a risky route or a safe route. And hopefully they'll think back on this workshop where they saw these master artists taking risks, and that it'll give them the courage to take the risky route.